we will wrap up the show with garbage time. So one more time, if you haven't already done so, if you're just getting here, I separated the LouieTeeNetwork and the Card Collector series. They are now separate entities. They're not one and the same. Content for the CCS will not be uploaded on the LouieTeeNetwork. If you want that content, it is now separately on its own YouTube channel, Card Collector series. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And again, even if you do not want the content, even if you don't plan on watching a second of the Card Collector series and any of the content that comes out on the channel, all I ask of you is to subscribe to that channel to help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, because some of the different things that I want to do with that channel, I am not able to do because I don't have enough subscribers or watch time. So the more subscribers I get, the more YouTube gets me in the algorithm, and the more I'm able to do some of the things I want to do with that channel. It's like starting over from scratch. It's not like starting over. It is starting over from scratch. I've been here before. I know how this works, but I've got a fan base now, and I've got a viewership that I want to be able to lean on in this time to be able to help me reach that goal. So if you're out there, you're within the sound of my voice, please subscribe to the Card Collector series. Whether you want to watch the content or not, I just want the support. And if you really rock with me, subscribe to the Card Collector series. Again, you don't have to watch the content. I just need the subscription. Thank you so much for your participation. With that said, let's get into garbage time. And I'm going to tap into my inner Lombardi right now, okay? My inner Coach Lombardi. All right. What the hell is going on out there? A lot of nonsense going on in these streets with the NFL players right now. And I honestly don't know what the hell is going on out there, as Lombardi once famously said. But let's talk about it to wrap up this show on garbage time. So, Vikings 6th round pick, defensive tackle Jalen Twyman, out of Pitt, shot 4 times while in a car. I want to say this was on Monday. Like, what? What? Like, what in the hell is going on out here in these streets where this man is in a car? Now, I don't know what kind of activity he was partaking in. I don't know if somebody in the car was the target and he just happened to be collateral damage. I don't know if he had some words with somebody, or because he was visiting family members in DC. So I don't know if he's from DC or not, or if he was going back home, or if he was just visiting from family members and he's not from the DC area, and somebody in the car, again, was the target, and he just happened to be in the back seat and caught a barrage of bullets. But the man got hit 4 times in his arm, his leg, his butt, and his shoulder. Like, whew. And he was, look, I can say this. It wasn't his time to go. God still has a plan for Jalen Twyman, because that man got hit 4 different times, and none of them were more, none of them hit an artery. None of them hit anything of note. A lot of them were just flesh wounds, and he's going to be perfectly fine and should be ready to go when camp starts, which is amazing because we're literally a month away from training camp. This man got hit with 4 different bullets, and he's going to be just fine. So it was not his time. It really wasn't. He was blessed, and he should be counting his lucky stars. I don't know why it happened to him, but it happened. And whew, I'm just happy that the guy is okay, man. That is a scary situation to find yourself in. And I'm just so happy. It reminds me of when the Giants drafted that cornerback from a small school. I can't remember his name, and I think he was a 6th round pick as well, if I'm not mistaken. And he got shot, before training camp, and he survived as well. And I was like, golly, what is going on? That's a crazy situation, but I don't know what the hell is going on out there. Speaking of which, Frank Clark, edge rusher of the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. Why is Frank got a Uzi in the back seat? A wise man once told me my Uzi weighs a ton. But Frank, after being stopped on a routine traffic stop, first of all, I've always said this. I don't know if Frank Clark has it all together or not. I don't. Frank Clark strikes me as one of those. I told you there's crazy and then there's crazy. I think Frank Clark might be crazy. And I told you there's certain dudes in the league you just don't mess with. Steve Smith Sr. was one of those dudes. Like Kyle Turley, another one. Like, you know, look, watch yourself. Watch what you say out your mouth. Because you might be just talking like it's just football and it's just all in the sport of the game. And that's not how they taking that shit. You know, like, you know, there's some rap beefs where, you know, you just saying some shit and putting it on wax because it's cool and it's a beef. But the other person's like, nah, this shit ain't just beef on wax. Like, I'll die for this. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You talking about killing folks. I'm not about that life. You know, Richie Incognito, another one of those dudes. He's crazy. Watch yourself, man. Not the same. Crazy and crazy are not the same. I think Frank Clark is crazy. Like one of those dudes that you just watch what you say to Frank. You know, Frank's not all there. He gets stopped. First of all, I don't mind that he's got a gun. I don't mind that it's an Uzi. I don't recommend that you have an Uzi. Why do you need a gun that carries a clip that can hold anywhere from 25 to 32 rounds? Why do you need that? I don't understand that. But I digress. That's your gun. You bought it. You acquired it somehow. You don't have a license for it, which is why he got arrested. But it's your gun. I don't really give a shit. My problem is, bro, you got it in the back seat in a duffel bag, and the bag is open enough for a cop to look in the back seat, see the bag open, and see the damn gun. How limited do you have to be to not think, let me zip my shit up? First of all, that should be in the trunk. But maybe you're carrying it around because, again, he's crazy. You might think I might have to use this at some point. So I need it in the car and I need it accessible. And I don't want to have to unzip the bag to get to it. Well, damn, Frank. The cop pulls you over, zip that shit up. Worst case scenario. Like, he didn't have probable cause to search your car unless you were smoking some weed and he smelt it or something like that. But that's not what the story said. The article said the cop looked in the car and he looks at the back seat and he sees the duffel bag, or he looks down at the seat next to Frank, sees the duffel bag, it's open, he sees a Uzi. Seriously, guy? You just got popped for a gun charge like a month and a half ago. That's 2 gun charges in 3 months. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, Frank. Come on, buddy. What the hell is going on out there? Come on, Frank. Get your shit together, man. Damn. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of what the hell is going on out there, Cardinals rookie first round pick, linebacker Zaven Collins. All Washington fans wanted Zaven, and then I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player and that he can't get past this, but I don't want my guy doing this shit before he even steps on the field for training camp. He had a DUI over the weekend, Father's Day weekend. Zaven Collins, listening to his draft interview when he was selected by the Cardinals and how excited he was. Look, when someone's excited, I generally don't overreact to whatever they say in that moment. That's just sheer euphoria. All right, it's a different level of excitement that you lose your mind for a second. Like when I got my Ja Morant rookie, I lost my mind for a second. I'm not gonna lie to you, I lost my mind for a second. But the initial reaction is always the best reaction. Not always the right reaction, but it's the best. At least for entertainment purposes, it's always the best. He was talking about, dude, let's F shit up and let's F this and F that. And I'm like, ooh, a little rough around the edges there, buddy. But he was excited. And so, all of that, I told you I took a psychology class. And everything that I do, I'm very analytical. I look at everything, mannerisms, body language, the way you speak. And I can formulate opinions. I may not always be right. But that's that psychology, schooling at work. I hear certain things and I'm like, he's a little different. I'll be lying to you if I said I was surprised. Zaven Collins strikes me as a guy that parties hard and sometimes doesn't make the right decisions after he parties. That's what he did over the weekend. He got popped for a DUI. It's not a big deal unless this is a continued behavior. He made a bad decision. All it takes is one, and I tell the young youth of America this all the time. All it takes is one poor decision to alter the path of your life forever. You F up once and you may not get a second chance. Because you could find yourself 6 feet under. You could find yourself in a prison cell. Things can happen that you can't change and you can't go back and fix and correct. Make sure that in the moment you're making the right decision. He didn't make the right decision there. Now, he didn't get into any accidents. He didn't hurt anybody else. So he got away with the bad decision he made. That doesn't mean he'll get away with it the next time. So hopefully he learned from this, because that's not a good look. Shit happens though. That shouldn't happen. Doesn't have to happen, especially now. Like 10 years ago when there were no Ubers and there were no Lyfts. Yeah, okay. You had a couple of cold ones, a couple of adult beverages. You drove to the establishment. You're like, look, I drove here. I'm driving back home. I'm not leaving my car here and picking it up tomorrow. With the advent of random strangers picking you up from random establishments in 5 minutes or less. Come on, man. There's no excuse for that. I mean, and there was always taxis, right? But taxis are bullshit. You were getting bussed over the head. You know, with these Lyfts, it's a flat rate. Whether it takes you 35 minutes to get there or it takes you 5 minutes to get there. It's a flat rate. Taxi cab, you sit in traffic, they busting you over the skull. Every minute you sit in that cab, you spending extra money. Long story short, don't let that shit happen again, Zaven. Please. Okay? Let that be a lesson learned. Let's not have this conversation again in 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 12 months. Okay? Thank you. And finally, this is pretty cool, but it could still go sideways. Lamar Jackson is currently negotiating a new deal without an agent. So essentially, him and Mom Dukes, who is his business partner, are essentially working out the structure of his new deal that he's trying to sign with the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's pretty damn cool. He's saying that 3% that I'm going to give the agent of my new $150 million deal that I got to give this clown, I'm not doing it. He's not getting $1.5 million or he's not getting, $7 million of my money that he didn't earn. I'd rather split that with my mom. Okay? Just don't F this up. Okay? We've seen guys try to do deals in the past themselves, like Dick Sherman. I think he did a pretty good job. He bet on himself in San Francisco. But we've also seen guys who haven't been well versed in the school of signing contracts allow other people to sign their contracts for them, like Ricky Williams allowing Master P to do his rookie deal in New Orleans. That was an epic fail. So there are instances of guys doing their own deals and everything turning out fine. I just saw that I believe the tackle Russell Okung did his deal in Carolina himself. I think he did that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Or Denver, one of the two, or both. Either way, it's been done before, but it hasn't been done by a quarterback before. It's different when you're a running back or you're a tackle. It's totally different when you are the face of the franchise and you're going to be one of the highest paid players in the league and you're trying to negotiate your deal. You don't want to F this up and leave tens of millions of dollars potentially on the table, because don't think for 1 second that the team isn't going to try to take advantage of you because they know you don't know the ins and outs of a contract. Now, I take it that Lamar Jackson and his mom are extremely smart and savvy, and they've gotten some assistance from someone that does have some knowledge of how contracts work in the NFL. And I'm pretty sure that they've done their homework and they're going to bang out the best contract for Lamar Jackson that keeps him secure no matter what happens in the future and make sure that he gets as much money as he can get. I hope that they don't leave any money on the table. I hope that they don't overlook a loophole and find themselves 2-3 years down the road after Lamar, has something happen, find themselves on the outs because they didn't dot all of their I's and cross all of their T's. But we talked about this. We had the same conversation last episode about who would be first to sign that contract of those 2018 quarterbacks. Allen, Mayfield, Jackson, who would be the first? If you listen to some out there, Jackson is getting pretty damn close with the Ravens, and he's doing it, along with his mom, by themselves. They're doing it by themselves. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I hope they get it right.
Louie.